Hey, this is Ken from Coffee Crafters, and it's been a while since we've done a 3E roasting video, and we have some new things on the machine, so we thought we would update our video. And I'm going to go ahead and get the roast started, and then we'll talk through some of the installation and maintenance issues while we're roasting. I'm going to roast a 3-pound load today. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get the loft established and turn the heat on, and then we'll go through some of the things while we're roasting. One of the things you might notice that's new is we have a new hood and light with the 3E, which makes it much better. Some of you that have the old 2.5s or 3E got the wire screen chimney. And on the new one, we got vertical slits in this solid stainless steel hood. And then we designed a hole in the back and a new mount for a light, so you can see inside the hopper. I don't know if you can see that. If you go in here, Dave, you can see that it's really easy to see inside, because the inside of the screen is stainless, and it makes it really easy for seeing the roast in progress. Installation on the 3E is really easy. When we designed this, we made it so that it was just like installing an electric clothes dryer as far as your venting and the power requirement. So the 3E requires a 30 amp 240 volt circuit for the roaster body and a 4-inch all metal duct that goes through the wall. So it does not come with the exhaust blower. Down below the product on the product page on the website, you'll find a list of compatible exhaust blowers, but anything from 500 to 2000 CFM will actually work with the exhaust blower. It comes with an outdoor chaff bag and bracket, so through the through wall, we actually have an example of it here. Through the through wall fitting, you actually run like a rigid 4-inch duct through the wall, 90-degree down elbow, and then the chaff bracket. Carrie's going to hand me the chaff bracket here. So if you can visualize this going through the wall, this is on the outside of the building. It's got a clamp on here. Actually, you would probably mount it like this, so the rain doesn't get in it. And then the chaff bracket opens up to change the bag. Some people also install it with an indoor chaff collector. So you'll see online an indoor chaff collector as an option. If you're roasting in a rural environment, a lot of our customers just install this so that it blows the chaff out into their flower bed, or they put in a screened enclosure and blow into that and capture it, because it makes great compost. The installation space for this machine, we actually have it mounted on a cart here in the factory with our Aritsan XE. But a great space for this is 2 foot by 3 foot. You see the chaff collector over here, or the bean cooler on the side. And so a lot of people will install the roaster, the bean cooler on a cart, and then underneath this, they'll put the exhaust blowers. So if you're in an area where you want to roll it out into a larger space to roast, you can roll it around on that 2 foot by 3 foot roller cart. We made it really easy to roast on. One of the things when we designed this from the ground up, we made it for new roasters, and a lot of our customers have home roasting operations. About probably 75% of our customers roast out of a basement, their garage, or an outbuilding. It's really easy to operate. One of the things, you'll read a lot of stuff online about complicated controls and whatever. We made this so anybody can learn how to use this machine in just a little bit of time. We've had people fly out from the East Coast, we're on the West Coast, because they think they need training. And about 5 minutes into the process of teaching them, they're going, we didn't need to come out, did we? And actually you don't, it's that easy to use. Now there's a ton of stuff to learn about coffee roasting, but as far as getting a nice, even, consistent roast, it is really, really easy to do. Last week I was roasting on this. We were testing out the new hopper and screen design, and I actually roasted a 4-pound load on a warm machine in about 11 minutes and 20 seconds. So you can do a little bit larger than a 3-pound load if you want to make up for the shrinkage if you're selling full 16-ounce bags. But it's really productive. This newly designed machine internals has a new hotter heat element. So the original Artisan 2.5 would do about 15 pounds an hour. This one will easily do 18 pounds an hour of beans. It runs about 20% hotter. Also made it better for roasting in a colder climate where you have to make up some of that air. And that is one of the things to note on this machine. If you're roasting in your garage in the wintertime and it's 30 degrees outside, you have to reduce your load size because you have to actually heat that cold air up to roast the coffee, and it will take a little bit longer. On the top of the machine, the controls are really, really simple. So you've got a system power switch, a heat switch. You have an infinite heat dial on the side. On the readout on the deck, this is actually a temperature switch. So it's set at about 750 degrees in the factory. If you get your temperature up to that, it'll actually shut the heat off. So it's actually a high temperature safety shut off. You do not want to regulate and roast having this control the temperature. You always want to set it higher than you're actually going to be roasting at. Usually on this machine, we're going to roast between 550 and 650 degrees most of the time, so the temperature won't shut it off. You'll see me reach over occasionally to adjust the loft. As the beans roast, they will up to double in size and lose like 15% of their weight. And so it will loft higher. So occasionally I will turn down the loft a little bit. On the thermometer on the side, when you set up this roaster, one of the things that was frustrating for us in the beginning was to understand that all thermometer and thermocouple combinations in your installation will read a little bit different. We use this DigiSense thermometer because you can actually calibrate it when you're doing your first roast. So especially with a medium density coffee bean, it will crack really, really close to 400 degrees each time on that medium density bean. So in your first few roasts, when you get to that first crack where it first starts cracking in earnest, you can adjust it up or down, and you'll have instructions with your thermometer that show you how to do that, and then you don't have to set it again. Since Carrie and I started roasting like that, that's been really, really nice because it doesn't matter what thermometer or what thermocouple combination we put on there, we can adjust it. We started on a cold machine with a full load, so this roast will take about probably about 12 minutes or so. It'll take about 9.5 minutes on a warm machine. The maintenance on the machine is really, really simple. That's one of the things that we really loved about the machine, especially for people that aren't into taking the machine apart and doing whatever. On this machine, the hopper and screen come off. You just clean them in the sink. You're going to get coffee buildup on your hopper, so you want to make sure to clean it periodically. What we found that works really, really good, and you will find this on Amazon, it's a product called Cafiza, C-A-F-I-Z-A, and so you can Google that on Amazon. You mix this with warm water, soak your hopper in it, and it will take off almost anything. It's actually made for cleaning barista. So right now we're running about 595 degree roast air temperature. We're getting really close to first crack, and you can hear it really well even with the blower running. Our blower, there we go, with 399. We hit first crack. This is set up in the factory, so we actually have the Artisan XE and the Artisan 3E set up on the same blower. And if any of you have a 3E that you plan on keeping when you upgrade to the larger roaster, let us know, and we'll send you a picture of how that ducting goes together, so you can use the one blower for both of your roasters. The cool thing about the roaster is you can actually lift the lid while you're roasting, and I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but all of the chaff and smoke are still venting through the back of the roaster. It made it great because when you get down towards the end, you're looking at your color profile. You can actually get in there and look down there and actually see what's going on. With the new screen, it doesn't lose as much material out the side. When we had the wire mesh chimney, little particles would make it its way out through the screen, and it made it a little bit dirtier on top of the roaster, but this one doesn't do that. So we're about 418 degrees, and we're going to pull this roast at about 440, and I'll show you how to use the cooling. The cooling tray works great, and it holds a full 3 pounds. It'll cool a full load of beans in about 90 seconds. Another maintenance issue is if you're using the chaff bags, make sure that you run it with a clean chaff bag. Your exhaust gas temperature will run at about 135 degrees, even with a dirty bag, but you want to make sure that you keep those clean so that the airflow is better. And to clean the chaff bag, you just empty the chaff out, and then you will throw it in the washing machine. Wash it with mild detergent. One thing to note, the roaster does not come with the electrical cord. And what you'll find at Home Depot, this is just like a pigtail for a clothes dryer. There are different socket patterns. We wouldn't know what you are plugging the roaster into. So when you get your roaster, these are about $15 to $17 at Home Depot. It accommodates a 4-wire system. You may have a pre-wired plug-in that you want to use, maybe with an existing clothes dryer, and you can buy the same type of pigtail that you have with your electric clothes dryer. See, we're about 433 degrees now. One thing with the roaster, these are very affordable. One of the things I actually didn't start out this business to design and build and sell coffee roasters. I was designing one for myself because of the sticker shock that I found when I actually went to buy one. To get something that will do 18 pounds an hour, like the Aritsan 3E, you're going to spend about 10 grand before installation. So there really wasn't anything out there to really fill that niche. All right, we're at 440 degrees. So what I do when I dump the beans is I just turn off the heat. I'm going to lift the lid and open the blast gate on the bean cooler, because you leave that closed while you're roasting. Now if you're roasting back to back, you're ready to do your next batch, you can actually roast while the beans are cooling. Give them a good stir, and that'll take about 90 seconds to cool, and then you're ready for your next one. So our roast time on that was at about 11 and a half minutes or so. So it will be less than that. You'll be like 9.5 minutes, 10 minutes or something, roasting to about 440, 450 degrees. So you can do 6 turns an hour with this machine, and that works great. And like I said, if you're roasting in a warm environment where you're above 65 degrees or above, there's no problem putting a 4-pound load in there if you have good voltage. One of the things to remember on the machine is not all voltages are the same at your location. You might be a long ways from the transformer, or have a long run between your house and your panel and your garage. So the recommendations that we have in the manual for the settings for each load size is just that, the recommendation. And you call us while you're doing your first roast. We can help you through that. Don't be afraid to call us either. Even when you're installing your roaster, make sure to give us a call if you have a question. Makes it a lot easier. So that's it. That's the new Aritsan 3 with the new heat things, and I'd like to thank you for watching.